this is Maya Martz with Windows Directory, Windows Active Directory, and Windows Services. Today we'll be performing a brute force attack using the GitHub's open source Kerbrute. So we're going to open that up. Kerbrute can do 4 different types of attack, but we will be focusing on 2 today. And that is brute user and password spray and brute user. Alright. Now, I download this, but we have to run it on the command line, so I'm going to copy the direct path. If you're having troubles getting Kerbrute to run, this might be good. And here we are. Kerbrute can be used on Linux, can be used on Windows. I have the Windows 64 version, and we will be demonstrating how to use it. Okay, so the first attack we are going to perform is going to be a password spray attack. Now, you'll see over here, I have a usernames text file with a list of possible usernames. Now, on my second VM, Hyper-V, I'm going to create 2 users by these names. And you're going to watch me configure them. Net user victim1 p at ssw0rd /add net user, and we're going to do a little check to make sure that user was correctly added and what this user does. This user is a member of the domain users, and its password, as we set up here, is password. Alright. Next, we are going to add our second victim, victim2, net user victim2. This one is also domain users. These don't have any special permissions. Alright, let's minimize that and get back over here. Now, the password spray attack. Password spray is going to take one password that we choose and then run it against victim1 and victim2. Now, we're going to need a couple things. One, we're going to need the domain name -d, and that is going to be, if I remember correctly, seaside.edu. The domain needs to be all caps, and then we are going to need the IP address, 192.168.0.99. Now let's double check our work. Double check that. IP config, seaside.edu, and 192.168.99. Alright, this is going to be all caps. It's just a little quirk of Kerbrute. I keep calling it Kerbite. 192. And now we're going to get our usernames file. There can be any number of usernames. They don't have to all be correct. Passwords, usernames. Let's open up properties and get that exact file path. And then usernames.txt. Now we need to choose a password that we're going to run against this list. I'm going to choose p at ssw0rd, and would you look at that? And now we run it. Unknown flag -- okay, I made a mistake, so let's go back through and fix this. There it is. We are do --dc, and then the IP address, and then that. So a little typo on my end. here is our final code. We run that. Kerbrute's running, and would you look at that? Here we go. It's using Kerbrute domain connection, and then we have the IP address. It's using the IP address and port 88. And then we have our first attempt of valid login into victim 2, and then a valid login to victim 1. Done. Tested 2 logins, 2 successes in 0.022 seconds. This tool is very quick when you get the code right. But let's see what happens, just to cover our bases, if we have someone here who is not part of this. This is just, we guessed a username, and would you look at that, 3 logins, 2 successes. Okay, so imagine you are trying to attack a company, and on this company's website you find a couple, people who work there, like a list of employees, and a lot of companies have standard naming practices for their usernames. First name dot last name, or first letter first name and then last name. So it's actually not too hard to make up a list that you can then try against a very simple password. And if someone doesn't have a secure password, if someone decides their password is going to be p@ssw0rd or password123, you can test against almost whoever you can get your hands on, whatever usernames you predict, and see if you get any hits. Now we will be doing the other attack, and this is our brute force attack. Alright, let's get this copied, paste that in, and then brute user -d seaside.edu domain connection 192.168.0.221. And now instead of using this usernames list, let's go into this password. We have 5 passwords here that we're going to attempt. Control C, Control V, \passwords.txt, boom, boom, boom. And let's say I know the name of a company's CEO. And I know this company's CEO probably has, the username victim1, or like I said earlier, first name dot last name. And I'm like, this guy doesn't seem too smart. He doesn't seem like he has, the best password security. Maybe he doesn't understand technology. And so I have a list of very easy to guess passwords. I'm going to run it against victim 1. Boop, boom. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Got this wrong. Sorry. 221 was the guess I got. Alright, we did a brute user attack against seaside.edu, which, to note, is not part of this domain. We are in the MART-T2 domain on this one, and this is Seaside. So we can actually attack from one domain to another. And so we guessed it, and then we got a hit. p@SSWORD. We tested 5 logins and got 1 success. Now, you might be wondering, oh, well, what if they don't use a basic password? It'd be very hard for them to get in. Well, yes, to some extent, but it's important to note that these text files can be hundreds of thousands of lines long, and it can include lists from the internet of compromised passwords. So this isn't just running 5 variations of the password. You can run like hundreds of thousands of different password combinations against one user who you're really trying to hack. And eventually, the person might get in. The easiest way to counteract this, both of these, brute attacks and the password spray attack, is to use Active Directory to install certain parameters around passwords. And we're going to do that in the next video.